Right, so first episode of the DR build. It's going to be a quick strip down, take the side panels off, the seat off, the tank off, headlight bucket. We'll get access to the loom and we'll unravel any of the lighting loom that's been tied up or taped out of the way. It looks like it's all there, it's just been put out of the way when they took the lights and everything off. So we'll just double check it's all there and then can start putting the lights back on. So we just start off with these side panels. They just have some Phillips head screws and then they clip in. I've already taken the battery out to charge it up. I'm not sure if it's any good, it doesn't have a date on it. Sometimes they come back to life, although it was running. While I was at it, I hooked the cables up to a spare battery and just checked the light came on. The headlight comes on. I think that was about it. There's no other lights, maybe one in the speedo. None of these turn signals or anything came on, but that might be just because the wiring is not hooked up. We'll need to have a working indicator light up here on the dash and a high beam one, possibly a neutral. I'm not sure if it legally needs that one or not, but I'm pretty sure I've got a neutral switch somewhere. So plastics are off. Seat should just be held on with a couple of bolts there. Good thing about these older bikes is you can just about have them stripped down in a few minutes. Once the tank and the seat are off, that's pretty much access to everything. So 2 bolts and the seat should come off. So, good news is it looks like all the loom is taped up there. There's a few wires not going anywhere. I think we've got our tail lights there. It looks like the indicator's bundled up there as well. And there should be also a brake light switch cable in there somewhere. Looks like the indicator flasher is intact, so that's great. I was expecting the loom to have all been stripped out. That's the sort of thing I would do if I was trying to make a dirt bike as light as possible. Take out all the old wiring you don't need. But that means I don't have to do too much work. I do have a spare loom, but won't be needing it, luckily. Alright, to get the tank off, we just turn our reserve switch to off. Should just be able to unclip that hose. And we've got 2 bolts on the top. I think those are 10mm. Bike did have some fuel in it when I got it. Doesn't smell too varnishy. It was running on it, so it might be okay. Probably run better with fresh fuel. Alright. Our cable's free. We're going to unscrew the ones at the front. like that's a 12mm. One side. Alright, it'll come off now hopefully. Yep. Awesome. Alright, so I just noticed that petcock was leaking a little bit. That might just need a new seal in it. In the off position. Probably dried out. So it looks like we've got our wiring looms all there. That must be the horn. These wires. So everything looks pretty good. Looks like it's been painted with a brush at some stage. This bit of paint here is original, but this all here is quite rough. So it would be cool to respray that maybe. Including a wrap turds. See what the gearbox is like. One of the mods you can do to these is take this cover off or drill holes in this cover. A bit more air. There's a decent filter in there. Probably a bit old, but it's not totally stuffed. Cool, so just unclip some of this wiring and see what sort of length we've got, and we can start putting on a couple of the electrics. I think the horn can go on, brake light switch can probably go on. I've got lights to go on, everything but the E-marked headlight. So I might take the headlight frame off this other DR here, the steel tank one. And I'll probably put just like a GN round bucket headlight on there for now. It's a shame these are no good for the road. So the other thing to take off was the headlight bucket. Just had two self-tapping screws inside, and then it's got some clips. Just all comes off. So put that away somewhere safe, it's quite hard to get. So here's some of our loom. That was to the headlight. Bunch of wires there. I think they're all for the indicators. Probably one going to the front brake switch. It looks like there should be a bulb in here, so that wasn't going before, I don't think. I think this should have a turn signal and probably a neutral switch and a high beam switch on that one, so gotta get those going. All the rest of our wiring is pretty basic. That will be the horn, I think. All the rest is wrapped up in here. There should just be some indicators. I think that's the brake. There'll be something to go down to the brake switch here. Fortunately the wiring looks to be the same as the slightly later model. It's not the same as the 2007, that's quite different. but it's the same as, looks to be the same as the, I think it's up to 1994. So prior to 1994, it looks like they all had the same loom. You know, stuff like as well, you can change the, this has a decompression lever on it, but it's only a 200cc, so it starts easy without it, but I might put that back on just because I've got it. I think at most I'll just have to run a new cable to the light and to the indicators just to extend it. Very cool.